There seems to be a full-blown cover-up going on inside the Biden administration to hide the crimes of the Biden family. Now, I mentioned that on the podcast, this was several days ago, that an IRS whistleblower had come forward. And this guy has he's told a bunch of executive branch agencies, but he's also told Congress that there is clear evidence of bribery, and there's also clear evidence of malfeasance by the Bidens, and that this is being blocked in the IRS, and it's being blocked also by the Biden DOJ. They're not allowing this investigation to go forward. In a sense, they're protecting their crime boss, Joe Biden. So the matter has become quite serious because it's bad enough when you have a criminal enterprise at the very highest reaches of our government. But then when the whole administration begins to cover up for the chief mafioso and his family, things get a lot worse. Now, the latest development is that this IRS whistleblower and his investigative team that were using the tax laws to really look at the ways in which all this money has flowed into the Biden family, money on which they may not have paid their appropriate taxes. This investigation has now been, in a sense, shut down by the Biden DOJ, and they have removed the whistleblower and his team from the criminal investigation. So in other words, it's basically, let's get the cops off the case so that the crooks can go free. Now, fortunately, this IRS guy seems to be a very credible and determined and relentless guy. He has two lawyers, and his lawyers have written a letter to congressional lawmakers, Republicans and Democrats, and he says that there is an ongoing investigation for tax fraud, lobbying crimes, money laundering, and he says that the DOJ is retaliating against him, which is a flagrant violation of the whistleblower law. It also constitutes obstruction of a congressional inquiry. Why? Because Congress is looking into this matter. And so the Biden DOJ is circling the wagons, apparently trying to put, you may say, cooperative people on this inquiry because they know how to avoid, let's not look at this, let's not look at that, that's no problem, nothing to see here, folks. They want those kinds of people doing the investigation. Now, Mark Little, who's a former DOJ lawyer, he's representing this IRS whistleblower. And he said his client, quote, wants to make protected whistleblower disclosures to Congress. He says he has already provided all the relevant information to the IRS, to the U.S. Treasury Inspector General, to the Office of the Inspector General, and the Department of Justice. So Inspector General Michael Horowitz has it, Attorney General Merrick Garland has it, Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration Russell George has it, Special Counsel at the U.S. Office of Special Counsel Henry Kerner has it. But let's notice that people like Merrick Garland are part of the crooked operation. I'm not saying they're crooked themselves, but they have been brought in the way the mafia hires lawyers to cover up for them. Hey, listen, I don't want any of this tax stuff getting out. It's your job to obscure it. Merrick Garland appears to be, in that sense, the chief point man for protecting Biden crimes from coming to public light and coming to congressional light. Now, the IRS Commissioner, Daniel Werfel, was before Congress at the end of April. And he said, oh, no, we have whistleblower protections. He said, quote, there will be no retaliation for anyone making an allegation or call to a whistleblower hotline. This was his actual quote. And the whistleblower statute, we should be very clear, isn't just about somehow ruining somebody or trying to fire them. It's also taking them off the inquiry. In other words, it's also removing them from the area where they can collect information that is relevant to wrongdoing and crimes. Here's the whistleblower law. It says that the whistleblower is, quote, protected from retaliatory personnel actions, including receiving a significant change in duties, responsibilities, or working conditions, which is clearly happening because of his disclosures to Congress. I think the good news is that the Republicans are not their usual timid selves here. I think they recognize they I won't say smell blood, but I think they recognize that there's a really crooked operation here, and it is of a great magnitude. This is not a single case where, the wealthy aristocrat in Moscow sent some money to Hunter Biden for a particular transaction. No, this is an international racketeering scheme that is masterminded by Joe Biden, carried out by multiple, maybe as many as 10 or more members of the Biden family, and now apparently with all these enablers, the enablers not of the crimes, but the enablers of the cover-up of the crimes, and they too need to be held accountable.